Okay, so we now have our defaults. I'm putting air quotes. Our defaults of what our site's going to look like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go basically to each of the elements and apply some CSS in order to make them look a little bit better. Okay, so I am on my H1 tag. I'm just going to go ahead and inside of it, I'm going to add a property called style. That's how we apply our CSS. And then we're just going to do font hyphen size. And then we are going to do 48 pixels, and then semicolon, and then text, and we're going to do text align, and we're going to do center, semicolon, and then color, and I am once again going to go ahead and use that W3 Schools chart here, and I'm just going to click on one of these things and call that good. So I think I was using like a light gray, so let's do this one. This looks good. Let's say this. Okay, so right here you can see it. So I'm just going to copy that. That's the hex code, and I'm just going to Control V. All right, and let me see. What else do I need in it? And that's it. So let's put the semicolon. Good. Okay. So that is going to be my that's going to be my H1. So now on my image, I just want to do a little adjustment there. I just want to change the size of it. I feel like it's a little bit too big. So just inside of that, I'm going to do style before the source, and we're just going to do width, just like width. Just like we did before, and I'm going to say, let's make it 300 pixels, semicolon. And that's all I'm going to do to the image. I don't really need to do anything to the rest. Now, on these two here, because I'm picturing this, I have my thing that says cone, right? And then I have my picture, and then I'm going to have my personal site, and then, like a little subtitle here, and then I'm going to have the body of the text. So I'm picturing this whole section here is going to be like my header. So on both of these, I'm going to go ahead, just like I have this centered on the top one for the word cone, I'm just going to put them in here as well. So I'll just do style again. And we're just going to do text align. And we'll do center again, semicolon. And again on the man, the myth, the legend, style. And text align and center. So I'm just hitting enter and using the arrows to navigate to the different things, okay? Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some to this horizontal rule. I want to basically, because I want this to be kind of like the title, the header on the top, and then have this be the body. I want to put a little bit more of a gap here after this header. So to do that, I'm just going to add to its margin, okay? So we'll just do margin, or I'm sorry, style first. Style, margin. Now we're not going to just do margin. I'm going to do margin. I only want to add it to the bottom, because I want to add a gap to the after it, not to above it, because I want that horizontal rule to be snug up against the rest of it. So we're going to do margin hyphen bottom, and then we'll just go ahead and we are going to put 50 pixels, 50 px, semicolon, and that is all I need for that. Okay, now for my H2, or for the remaining H tags, I just want to make them basically the same color as what I have for my H1. I want all my titles to have this color here, okay? So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to grab this like so. So from color to the semicolon, it's going to right click and copy. And inside my H2, I'm just going to hit space, and then I'll do style. And then I'll hit Control V, because there it is right there. Beautiful. So it says style equals quotes, blah, blah. Now I'm going to grab that whole section, this to the style. Okay, so style, basically the whole property I just added there. Control C. And I'm going to add it to this H2, space, Control V. So now it says H2, style, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm going to go to this H2, do the same thing, space, Control V. Great. And then we're going to add it. I'm not going to add it to the H4, actually. And then I'll do it here, Control V. Great. So now they all have that color applied, which is acceptable. Now on my P tags, I want to add a background color, kind of like what we did before. So now in the top section, just the body one. So inside of this P, I'm just going to write style equals quotes, and then we're going to do background color, And then I want to find a color to use. So again, I'm going to go to my W3 Schools little color picker up here. And I want to do kind of a palish yellow color. Let's see. We'll start with that, and I'll click on here. And then, let's bring this down. And I want to go a little more, I need to go a little bit less saturated. Let's say that looks good. Okay. And okay, so there's the color, and I just got to scroll down, and I can choose any one of these. Let's just go ahead and use the HSL. Okay, just so you can see that they're interchangeable. Okay, so I'll hit Control V. Then I'll hit semicolon. And and I want to also add padding. So I'm going to go padding. Let me just show you actually what this is going to do. So I'm going to save this real quick. And then I'm going to open it up. So we'll hit Control R. Okay. So you see right now, see there's a margin, but see how the background of this, see how it's snugged, it's right snug up against this. Watch what happens when I add padding. So I'm going to go padding. And we'll add padding to all sides. So we're just going to do 20 px semicolon like that. And now let's hit save. And I'm just going to show you. So I just added padding to that P element that I added the background to. Now watch. Control R. So now it put 20 pixels between the content and the outside of it. Okay? So that's padding. And then the margin is the area from the outside of this to the next element, which we did 10 pixels. Okay? So notice that this is about twice the size as the purple part here. That's because this is 20 and this is 10. All right? That's why we did that. Now, I'm going to take this whole chunk here from the quote to the style. Control C or Command C, and I'm just going to put that on the remaining P elements. Not there. There we go. And I'll hit spacebar, Control V, and then I'll go to this P element, Control V, and something got messed up. Somehow it highlighted it. Space, Control V. There you go. So it says P style, blah 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 blah. Just easier than having to type it every time. All right, great. Next, what we're going to do, the last thing that I'm going to add apply a style to is going to be my UL. So I'm going to use my UL. We're going to do style. And we're going to do one we haven't really done yet. And that's going to be to add a border. So we're going to do border, border hyphen style. And choose whatever you want. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just do solid. That honestly usually looks the best. The rest of them don't look that great, but try them out if you want. There's all sorts of options there. So we're going to do border style solid. Just be aware there is a shorthand where you can just write border and then you can write all the things we're going to do. I'm going to write them each as a separate rule, but it's just because I think it's a little bit easier to understand. Okay, then we're going to do border width. So border hyphen width. So that's going to determine the thickness of it. And let's do 2 pixels for the thickness. Okay, so we said the style, the thickness. Now we need to say the color, right? So, oops, not quarter. Border hyphen color. And then for the color, let's just use one of these, right? So let's say, God, these are all awful though. Dark late gray, but with an A because I'm American. Okay. Then it's semicolon. Good. Okay, and that's on the UL element, and that's good. Now we save it, and let's preview it. And I'll hit Control R, and now you will see, there we go. It says cone, and then you can see this is all centered. The image isn't. We'll fix that later. Not in today's class. Then in the beginning was born. Presently going to this page is future. He has none. Thinks he's dyslexic. You see, there's our border that we put in. Looks pretty acceptable. Okay. And that's good. So with that done, let's go to the next slide, and it's just going to be submitting it and, final thoughts.